All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating, kind of unsettling piece of lore, a dark parable left behind by this enigmatic figure, De Groen Gold Nar, the Jester of Gold and Green. It's a silent sermon, but wow, it speaks volumes about value, illusion, and, well, the decay that's hiding just under the surface of everything.
We're starting with this quote because, man, it just cuts right to the bone, doesn't it? This is the horrifying punchline at the very end of the jester's joke. And it really sets the stage for the whole philosophical takedown we're about to unpack. This is where the story ends up. Now, let's see how we get there.
So, before the jester could deliver his final wordless insult to the merchants, he first had to deal with their muscle, a group of Viking trackers. But this wasn't just some fight. No. This was a philosophical argument carried out with violence. It was a live-action deconstruction of what it even means to be a warrior.
See, the trackers thought they were just walking into a field to hunt down one guy. They could not have been more wrong. They unknowingly stepped into what the source calls the verdant absurdity. Basically, a slice of reality where the jester calls the shots. And the very ground they're standing on? Yeah, it was about to turn on them.
And this is where things get really interesting. You've got these two completely opposing worldviews about to slam into each other. The warrior's logic is simple, it's brutal. Strength is power, gold is your prize. But in the jester's world, all of that is just an illusion. Strength is meaningless, gold is just bait, and you absolutely cannot rule reality. It's a collision course.
So the first warrior does what a warrior does, right? He hurls a spear, expects a kill, but it just passes right through the jester, like he's made of smoke. He's not dodging, he's making a point. He's a void mirror, showing them that their most trusted tool, their violence, it has zero effect here. It just doesn't apply. So with their main weapon completely useless, the warriors are in an impossible spot. And the jester? He doesn't even have to fight them himself. The meadow just comes alive. The grass grabs their legs, the ground turns into a swamp, and all their rage and aggression, it just seems to make the jester and his weird reality even stronger. They came to conquer a man, and they ended up wrestling with mud.
And here it is, the climax of the fight. The captain, in one last desperate move, lunges for the shiny gold on the jester's outfit, only to get a handful of rotting wood. Now this isn't just a magic trick. This is some serious foreshadowing. The gold is an illusion, and right underneath it, just the decay of nature. And trust me, that idea is about to become the entire point of the jester's final joke.
Okay, so the warriors have been dismantled. Now the jester turns his full attention to the merchants, but for them, he's got a completely different sermon planned. No violence this time. He's going to use their own greed against them in this silent, psychological play, all centered on one single object, a statue.
In the middle of the town square, he leaves this thing, a huge idol of a perfect merchant king. And here's the kicker. One half of it is shimmering with that same heavy gold that tricked the trackers. It's bait, perfectly designed for what the text calls the hunger of the herd. And the merchants, well, they fall for it hook, line, and sinker. They don't question where it came from, they just try to own it. They go right to the only logic they know, the logic of commerce. They measure it, they appraise it, they try to slap a price tag on it, thinking if they can just define its value, they can control it. And here is their fatal flaw. As they're staring at this beautiful, shimmering surface, they see themselves reflected back. And they get so lost in that perfect, valuable exterior that they start to believe it has to have substance, a soul. But really, they're just falling in love with a shiny version of themselves. So they finally reach out to touch it, to claim this ultimate prize, and that's when the whole illusion is about to come crashing down. So what was the truth hiding underneath all that beautiful gold? Yep, the exact same truth the warrior captain discovered in the meadow. The second they touch it, the gold goes transparent, and they see the idol is just a hollow shell. It's filled with nothing but decay. It's totally worthless. The ultimate treasure is just a pile of beautifully packaged dirt and rotting wood.
And that brings us to the real punchline. The idol was never the point of the joke. It was just the mirror. The jester wasn't mocking a statue. He was forcing the merchants to look at a perfect portrait of their own empty souls.
I mean, the parallel is just undeniable, right? The idol is a beautiful golden cage full of rot. And the merchants? They're no different. They've spent their entire lives building this external armor of wealth and status. And while they were doing that, their inner selves, their actual substance, just decayed into nothing.
You know, the source material actually has a name for people like this: divisible selves. It's this key idea that describes anyone who prioritizes the illusion of value, their money, their reputation, over what it calls the absolute ik, their true core self. Their spirit gets trapped, locked inside the very golden armor they built to protect it.
And in that instant, that moment of reveal, the merchants have the exact same horrifying realization that the warriors had. All their power, their money, their logic, their entire system of value, it's completely, utterly meaningless. It has no purchase on a reality that refused to be ruled. They can't buy their way out of this fundamental truth.
And so we come to the final and, honestly, the cruelest part of the punchline. The jester doesn't kill the merchants, he just leaves them standing there in the plaza with this rotting idol. And his reason for doing it is the most devastating part of the whole sermon. Their survival is the final twist of the knife. He leaves them as broken witnesses. Their whole continued existence, forever haunted by this memory of the Gilded Hollow, serves as a permanent, living monument to how empty their life's work really is. They've become part of the exhibit.
And this really just boils everything down to the jester's ultimate message. All the stuff we chase, all the material value, all the gold we pile up, it's all temporary. It's an illusion that we project onto the natural world. But underneath it all, it's just dirt. And in the end, nature always takes it back.
So we're left with this final, really provocative question. The parable kind of forces us to look at the golden cages we build for ourselves, whether that's wealth or status or reputation. If the things we use to define our value are really just a hollow shell, then what exactly are they protecting? And from what?